recording. Okay, I think we're good. All right, take a breath, feel your feet on the floor. Just take a moment to get centered. Feel what's happening in your body. And then start with shoulder squeezes. So feet pointed straight ahead, right underneath your hip bones. Make the outer edge of your foot straight. And then go ahead and pinch your shoulder blades together. Squeeze them. Relax your stomach and release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. When we look at what exercises to do, we often start with the shoulders, not always, but often, because the shoulder blades can compensate for an imbalance somewhere else. And being able to just address what's happening at the thoracic back and the shoulders lets the whole body begin to unwind, especially if one shoulder blade is a little stuck because of some scoliosis or maybe something going on at the level of your pelvis. Let's do 10 more of those. Squeeze, start to feel the muscles behind the shoulder blades work. And then do one of those new ones. Grab your hands, curl your fingers, square your shoulders the best you can, and then pull out away from each other so that you feel the muscles on the back of the arm, the back of the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, just a little more intensely. Pull and release. Pull and release. Keep going. Let's do 10 of those. And then switch your hands, one up, one down, curling it in, and then square the shoulders as best you can. And again, pull out and release. Pull, release. Pull, release. Pull, release. Pull. And feel it. Do you feel the shoulder blade muscles on both sides behind the shoulder blades work as you do that? And release. And then with your feet pointed straight ahead, take it into that shoulder roll up and back and around. And just move your upper back into your lower back, into your middle back. And then squeeze and bring them up and around. And right into our windmill. Arms out to the sides, over to one side, and up, and over to the other side. And up, and over, and up, and over, and up, and over, and up. Then take your feet wider. One of the measurements that we look at, if somebody has an elevated hip, does that hip, so let's say you're standing like this, then what happens when you abduct the legs? Does it level out? And if it does, it's likely more of a functional leg length discrepancy than a true leg length discrepancy. And often the TFL, the muscle in the front of the hip, that's an abductor, is involved. So being able to take you out of that can help level a hip or pelvis. If it doesn't level, sometimes that means it's more of a true leg length discrepancy, in which case sometimes wearing a lift is appropriate, or having it actually measured via x-ray, or a really good therapist that can measure it. Over and up. And back in. Hopefully that's more level. Last ones, over and up, and over and up. Nice. Let's just do a little hand work. So take your fingers and press them together, and then open your hands wide like there's a rubber band around your fingers, all the way together and all the way open, all the way together, all the way open. Now curl the fingers and take it into the wrists, and let your wrists do some big rotations, kind of like foot circles. Shoulders stable, and going the other way. Up and back. And just changing the angle a little bit, moving them around, and then a few more fingers, really big and open. And feel that relationship from the wrist into the shoulder, into the hip, pelvis, and leg. Take one foot forward. We'll go into the feet now, into short foot. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Bend your knees as much as you can. Relax your stomach. Let your shoulders just be back behind you. And then make sure that back foot is pointed straight. Lift and press your toes down into the floor. Lift and press. Ball of the foot stays down. And just see how far you can bend into that with 50-50 weight between your feet. Do 10 more wherever you're at with those. And switch. Down. 50-50 weight between your feet, shoulders relaxing. Lift and press. These muscles underneath the foot are responsible for your arch, and they go all the way up through your ankle, around your ankle bone, up to behind your knee. And they also help you lift your heel or lift your toes, depending on which ones we're working on. First side again. Back foot straight. Bend deeply into that front knee. If anybody has tibial torsion or a rotation of the lower leg into a place it's not supposed to, which could affect the ankle or the knee, this one is a great exercise. It also pulls on these two joint hip flexors because your knees are bent. So it actually pulls on that line of fascia all the way up between your shoulder blades. And first side, second time, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, bending your knees, stacking your ears over your shoulders, over your hips, that vertical load staying established. Last 20. See if you can bend into that one a little more. Flex like you're flexing into that ankle. And then come on up. We're going to do a hang, a forward fold. I just want you to do a forward fold first without thinking about it. You can bend your knees a little bit. And I know it's early, but just see how your body does that forward fold. And next, I want you to really tighten your thighs. See if you can get them to tighten, even like not just around the knee, but all the way up around the hip, so that these muscles are active. And then go forward slowly. Thighs stay tight, thighs stay tight. And you may not be able to go very far. That's okay. Just feel where your body stops. If your abdominals activate well and you can keep going, go ahead and do it. See if you can tighten up the thigh muscles all the way up the whole length of the quad, and just see where you're at then with your forward fold. Hang out there and breathe. Maybe as things let go a little bit, more of you can bend. And finally, your pelvis will roll over the top of the leg bones. And then slowly come on up. Into a standing arm circle. Fold your fingers to your palms. Then bring your arms out to the side. Pinch your shoulder blades together. And circle forward 40 circles. Feel that squeeze at the bottom edge of the circle. Soft knees this time. And when you get to 40, palms up, circling backwards. Super strong. Feel that squeeze between your shoulder blades. And release. I'm going to just have you be able to see a little more of the top of my body. So we're going to go into a tricep stretch. So take your left hand and put it on your left shoulder. And then make a square over your head with your right. Make sure your feet are still pointed straight ahead. Relax your stomach and just hold that. So now the elbow is going up toward the ceiling. That's going to increase the thoracic extension on that side. Your shoulder blade has to rotate for you to get there, so you have to be pretty functional just to maintain that position. Well, I just want you to hold it and to let your shoulder blade and your spine and your hip all react to that new position. And notice if your head is really forward, and try to bring your ears over your shoulders again. Just hold it again, take some deep breaths. And release. Switching sides. Right hand to right shoulder. Make a square over your head. Pull it up. Big breath into your rib cage. Open the space in your side body. You can even soften your knees a little bit. Relax your stomach. Pull that arm back a little more. and release. Nice. Standing quad stretch. Finding your balance, reaching back behind you, grab your foot. One hand or both hands, if you can. You could also set it up on a chair or a counter or something like that. Letting that knee go straight down to the floor, opening up that hip. I still see you all, but I lost my screen. Hold on. Did you lose me too? No. Okay. Well, second side. So ideally, you should be able to get your heel to touch your butt. If you are far away from that, it's good information that you've got some work to do to get the quad and hip flexor to be longer. And release. Come down onto your back. Feet on the floor, knees bent. So we've done a lot of work with your upper body to get any compensation out of your upper body. We started to do some work on your lower leg if there was rotation in the ankle or the tibia, and a little bit of if there was rotation in the pelvis with that standing quad stretch. Now coming down onto the floor, arms out to the side, or you could tuck your hands under. That will increase this internal rotation of your elbow, and that changes the muscles around the back of the shoulder, maybe that there's some tightness. Flex your foot, tighten your thigh, and do femur rotations. So rotating at the level of the hip, out and in. And we're just simply reminding the muscles, deep six, all of the muscles that rotate the leg out and in of their job. Sometimes those muscles compensate in ways that hold the pelvis some way or hold the leg bone in a rotation that maybe makes the knee not be able to work so well. Switch, or the hip, or even that your foot strike would be incorrect. So you're not heel ball toe. And we would like to restore that proper mechanics of the hip, knee, and ankle to about 10 of these rotations, and then switch again. We'll do 3 sets. Checking to see if your pelvis and rib cage alignment is good. Arms either out to the side or tucked under the small of your back. And once again, out and in. And then switch. And last one's thigh tight, taking that leg out and in. Pelvis being held stable, shoulders being held stable, letting all of that react to the rotation at the hip. And last one, last side. And then one set with both legs at the same time, out and in. Try to touch your big toes together, all the way out, all the way in. And then coming up into a kneeling groin stretch. Left foot coming forward. Right leg behind you. Taking your arms and just pulling them apart. Again, that same one finger forward, one finger back grip. Pull them apart. Feel the muscles engage on the backside of your shoulders. And then go into that groin stretch. Feel the hip in the back open and the hip in the front even. Kind of close up in here. That foot in front of your knee. Letting the hips open. And release. Switch sides. Back leg back behind you. Hips stay square. Front leg bending. Pulling those hands apart. Make sure to switch your hands. Shoulder blades working on the backside behind you. As those muscles in the back engage, that lets the hips open more. And release cats and dogs. Round and arch. Bringing some motion into the space in your back, discs. And into a hand leg opposite lift, taking it up and switch. And switch. And switch. Switch. Couple more. Keep going. And then come onto your back. Into cross crawls. Both of these act like a rotation in your body, even though it's not a rotation, but it's working the two sides of your spine. So feel your hips on the floor, opposite arm, opposite leg, coming all the way up, and then setting them both down, and all the way up, and then set them both down. Feel the pinky and the thumb reaching over your head as you go up, and release. If you'd like a little more abdominal work there, go ahead and switch at the top. Switch, switch, switch. And both feet on the floor, rock it back and forth, pelvic tilts. And then arms out to the side, move your right leg a little bit away from your body. Shoulder blades gently tucked underneath you. Lift and lower this leg up and down off the floor with the front of that hip 30 times. We'll go after any more pelvic rotation or a little bit of strengthening. As you work that hip, feel the shoulder relax. Don't let it help you. Just picking up that leg, feeling the hip rotate in the socket. And switch sides. Left leg away from you, 30 lifts. Feeling your upper back, mid back, and shoulders just being supported by the floor. They often will want to tense in response to doing this hip work, especially if there's compensations there. See if you can really just let them go right now. And then cross your right ankle over your left knee, bring it up. Press your knee away from you, pull it in, hold. That hip flexor should be tired. It'll get tired really fast. Let it kind of burn out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, switch, pull it in, push and pull, softening your shoulders. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Release. Active bridges all the way up and down. Lift and lower 20 times. Feel your butt muscles, feel your back muscles, feel your shoulders get square underneath you. Lift, activate those muscles on the back side of your body, that posterior chain. And then pull your legs in towards you, letting your back go mostly flat to the floor, but then get stable. Once it gets to the floor, stabilize it. And then press your heels toward the sky. Tighten up the muscles in the front of your thighs around your knee. And also, like we did all the way up, see if you can find muscles at the top of your hip that you can engage. And then release down, release your hips. All the way in, low back stays stable. Pull your legs to the sky, push through the hamstrings, engage the front side, all the way up to the creases of your hips. Find those muscles, release, down, in, up, release, down. In, lift, pull, tighten, down. 5 more. And release. Bottom of your feet together into a frog. As your legs gently pull out, it pulls your pelvis to neutral. Feel if there's any adjustments you need to make through the rest of your body, rib cage, shoulders. Just notice if that's good. And then bring your legs back together. This time we're going to do a little bit of ab stabilization by dropping the right hip out only. Do that 10 times. So feel like the weight gets heavy in the left side as your right leg gets to come in and go out. In and out. And everything else just totally stabilizes. And then switching, right leg stays up, left leg drops out, and stabilize more with the right side, but the whole abdominal, torso, everything works to hold you there. 10 times. And then bring it in, grab your block, place your block between your knees, and squeeze and release that block. Feel that your pelvis is even and stable on the floor. Shoulders also. 20 more squeezes. Squeeze, hug, find those adductors, release. Squeeze, release. And take your block away. Come all the way up to standing. Just do a little bit of a check. Let's use some of this. So find your balance. We're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg. And I just want you to reach out away from you and then pull it back in. Reach out away. So kind of a scale and draw it back in. Using this square pelvis, square upper body, adding a little more demand. And switch sides. Taking one leg back behind you, finding your balance, coming back in. Excellent. Little squats. Down and up. Turn on some of those muscles. Take your legs wider. Go down to one side and up and over to the other side and up. See if you can let that hamstring support you, that glute to support you, and go a little bit lower. Thighs still working here. All that coordination between butt, thigh, hamstring. All that new position that we just found. Activate. Good, back to square. This time hands behind your head. Same thing. Down and up. Elbows stay open. Get as low as possible. Hug your feet in, push your knees out. Excellent. Downward facing dog pose. Tie it all together. From your hands back to your heels. You decide, do you need your knees to be a little bent, or can you do it with your legs straight? That is determined by what's happening here in your lower back. If you go knees bent, try to put a big arch in your low back. Stick your butt up in the air. Come forward into a crouching cat, everybody. Knees bent a little more, hovering on the floor, arching in your back. And press back one more time. Downward facing dog pose. This time, come all the way forward. Push up position. Hold. And downward facing dog pose. You could do that same thing one more time, or you could add a one-arm bridge to that today. If you're feeling strong, feeling that shoulder blade push in toward your spine, from your shoulder pressing back out toward the floor, and other side. And then downward dog once more. And walk it all the way back in. Stack all that work back up by coming up onto your toes. Toe raises in 3 different positions. Coming all the way up and down. And then take it out. Feel those femurs turn in the hip sockets all the way up. And pigeon toe all the way in. Weight to the insides of your feet and up and down. Back to straight. And release. All right, I'm going to have you get into a comfortable position today. Lying down, we'll do a little breath work. I'm actually gonna put my legs up over my block in static back today. So legs out straight, legs over a chair or a block, you choose. Just come on down. If you're in static back, get to as close to 90 degrees as you can and just allow that to settle. Squaring your shoulders with your pelvis, just in case anything else rotated out some direction. Letting your leg bones just relax. And then go ahead and place your hands on your belly. And as you inhale, feel your belly and even your chest rise. And then exhale completely. Inhale. Exhale. In through your nose, breathing in and out. Let it go. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Inhale. Let it go. In. Out. Then inhale. This time, let it go completely. We're going to hold for 15 seconds. Hold your breath. Blow out more if you need to. 5 more. And release. Breathe normally for a moment. Okay, we'll do 20 more breaths and then a 30-second hold this time. Ready? Inhale. Let it go. In. Let it go. Be present with the sensations of your breathing. Inhale. Let it go. In. Out. In. Out. Fill more of your torso. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Halfway. Out. Inhale. Out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. 5 more. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Last one. Inhale. Fully in some more. Exhale completely. 30-second hold. And breathe in. breathe normally for a moment. Nice job. Let's do one more round of 20 breaths with a 45-second hold this time. Fully in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Out. Inhale. Let it go. In. Out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Halfway. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Full breath in. Inhale more. Exhale fully out. 45-second hold. Go. That's 30. Five more. And breathe. Go ahead and lengthen or move anything that you want to move. And begin to come back around.